Can you be my mummy? The soft morning light filtered through the large windows of Murphy's diner, casting a warm glow across the red leather booths and polished wooden tables. Sarah wiped down the counter with practiced movements, her blonde hair pulled back in a neat ponytail as she prepared for another busy day. The familiar sounds of the diner filled the air, coffee brewing, bacon sizzling on the grill, and the gentle murmur of early morning conversations. Sarah had been working at Murphy's for nearly 2 years now, ever since she moved to the city to pursue her dreams. The pay wasn't much, but she loved the regulars who came in each morning, sharing stories over steaming cups of coffee and homemade pancakes. The diner felt like a second home, with its vintage charm and the way sunlight danced across the checkered floor at exactly 8. The bell above the door chimed, and Sarah looked up to see a familiar face. James Morrison walked in, looking impeccably dressed in his dark business suit despite the early hour. He was one of her favorite customers, always polite, always left a generous tip, and always came in with his 5-year-old daughter Emma. "Good morning, Mr. Morrison," Sarah called out with a smile. "Your usual table." James nodded, but Sarah noticed something different about him today. His shoulders seemed heavier, and there was a tiredness in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Emma bounced beside him in her pink jacket, her brown hair in loose waves around her shoulders. "Morning, Sarah," Emma chirped as they settled into their regular booth by the window. "Can we have chocolate chip pancakes today, please?" Sarah laughed softly. "I think we can arrange that. And coffee for your dad." "That would be perfect," James said, though his smile seemed forced. As Sarah poured James's coffee and took Emma's detailed pancake order, she couldn't help but notice how the little girl kept glancing between her and her father. Emma had always been chatty, but today she seemed especially thoughtful, as if something important was on her mind. "Sarah," Emma said suddenly, "do you have a mummy?" The question caught Sarah off guard. "Well, yes, I do. She lives far away though, in another state." Emma nodded seriously. "I don't have a mummy. She went to heaven when I was little." Sarah's heart squeezed with sympathy. She glanced at James, who had gone very still, his coffee cup frozen halfway to his lips. This explained so much: the expensive clothes that didn't quite match, the way Emma sometimes seemed to cling to any kind woman they met, the careful way James always made sure his daughter felt loved and secure. "Sweetheart," Sarah said gently, sitting down across from Emma for just a moment. "That must make you sad sometimes." "Sometimes," Emma admitted, "but Daddy takes really good care of me. He braids my hair and reads me stories and takes me to the park. But sometimes ... double quotes," she trailed off, looking uncertain. "Sometimes what, honey?" Emma took a deep breath, as if gathering all her courage. "Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to have a mummy too, someone who could do mummy things with me." Sarah felt her throat tighten with emotion. She could see James struggling with his own feelings, his knuckles white as he gripped his coffee cup. Being a single parent was never easy, but raising a little girl who longed for a mother's touch had to be heartbreaking. "You know what?" Sarah said softly. "Your daddy loves you so much. I can see it every time you two come in here. Love is the most important thing of all." Emma nodded. But then she looked directly into Sarah's eyes with the serious expression that only children could manage. "Sarah." "Yes, sweetie. Can you be my mummy?" The words hung in the air like a prayer. Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat, and she could see James freeze completely, his face cycling through surprise, embarrassment, and something deeper, a vulnerability that made her heart ache for both of them. Emma continued, her small voice filled with hope. "You're so nice to me and Daddy. You always remember how I like my pancakes, and you smile at us like we're special, and you have pretty hair like the mummies in my picture books." Sarah looked at this precious little girl, with her earnest blue eyes and her heart full of hope, and felt something shift inside her chest. She had always loved children, had always dreamed of having a family of her own someday, but she had never imagined that dream might look like this, unexpected and beautiful, and sitting right in front of her in a diner booth. "Emma," James started to say, his voice thick with emotion. "Sarah has her own life, sweetheart. We can't just ask someone to." "It's okay," Sarah interrupted gently. She reached across the table and took Emma's small hand in hers. "Emma, that's the sweetest thing anyone has ever asked me. And you know what? Even though I can't be your mummy in the official way, I can be someone who cares about you very much." Emma's face lit up. "Really? Really? And maybe, when your daddy says it's okay, we could spend more time together. I could teach you how to braid friendship bracelets, or we could go to the park and feed the ducks. Could we bake cookies too?" Emma asked, bouncing slightly in her seat. Sarah laughed, feeling tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "We could definitely bake cookies." James was staring at Sarah with an expression of wonder and gratitude. In his world of corporate meetings and business deals, he had forgotten that such genuine kindness still existed. Here was this young woman, working 2 jobs to make ends meet, offering to open her heart to his daughter without asking for anything in return. "Sarah," he said quietly, "are you sure?" Emma gets very attached, and I wouldn't want to impose. "You're not imposing," Sarah said firmly. "Emma is a special little girl, and any time I get to spend with her would be a gift." Emma clapped her hands together. "This is the best day ever." As Sarah went to get Emma's pancakes, she felt a warmth spreading through her chest that had nothing to do with the morning sun streaming through the windows. Sometimes the most beautiful families weren't the ones you were born into, but the ones you chose to create with love and kindness. When she returned with a plate of chocolate chip pancakes shaped like a heart, Emma threw her arms around Sarah's waist in a tight hug. "Thank you for saying yes to being my almost mommy," Emma whispered. Sarah hugged her back, looking over the little girl's head to meet James's eyes. In his gaze, she saw not just gratitude, but something deeper, the beginning of a connection that might grow into something neither of them had expected to find in a small diner on an ordinary Tuesday morning. "Thank you for asking me, sweetheart," Sarah whispered back. "Thank you for choosing me."